You are now listening to Thoughts on Wrestling, a podcast between two friends just shooting the shit about the business they love and others love to hate. This is Thoughts on Wrestling. And now your host, Jay Hughes and Stevie G.
What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode 2 of Thoughts on Wrestling. I am your host, Jay Hughes. Alongside me, as always, Mr. Stevie G. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay, you just going to do this every episode? All right, guys. We do owe some more shout-outs to some people that we met at the Lunatic Luau here in Virginia Beach. We want to give a shout-out to the List of Jericho t-shirt, the Kevin Owens t-shirt,
Damn right, baby.
Unfortunately, and the Shinsuke Nakamura shirt, plus alongside probably about 6 or 7 other people that we met in the line to meet Chris Jericho. This episode, we are going to go over Lunatic Luau, seeing FOZZY for the very first time, and go over some of our favorite superstars. If you listened to our last episode, I mentioned that we would mention some of our favorite superstars, and we totally neglected that.
Botch.
I botched it.
I
know.
It too.
But if you guys don't know, this is like the 100th time that we did the introduction episode, and we screwed something up every single time. Either the mic wasn't loud enough, or we messed something up. I said birthday instead of podcast. There's a bunch of different things. So we went through about 50 to 100 of those episodes. Totally tired of doing the introduction episode. We just want to bring you guys our thoughts on wrestling, and here's episode 2, guys. So basically, we just want to say shout out to all those guys who saw Lunatic Luau. Let's start this off by talking about Lunatic Luau.
Okay, go ahead.
We went to work like normal. We took a half day. Lunatic Luau started about 2:30. I don't think we got out of here till about 2:30 ourselves. Jericho and FOZZY weren't on until
4:45.
4:45.
Yes, sir.
So we got there. We were probably one of the first people on the stage. We're probably, I'd say, 3 deep.
Dude, we got there about 4 o'clock. We were waiting in line. Like there was no. We missed a band playing on the other stage. We were at that stage waiting for FOZZY.
Yeah, I think Alter Bridge was playing,
yeah,
and we just
Alter
totally
Bridge.
Said, sorry, Alter Bridge,
Yeah.
Screw you, Alter Bridge. We're going to see FOZZY. So
Y2J, baby.
I think we were probably the 3rd row. It was on the side stage, so it was definitely one of those where you can get up close to it. And we started every wrestling chant you could think of, and I think you had mentioned that about how he was constantly turning the Y2J chants into FOZZY chants.
Oh yeah, after every song he would be like FOZZY, FOZZY.
So Jericho, if you're hearing this, we are sorry, man, but it's just we were so ecstatic to see you, man. All the fans out there, it was cool to see so many wrestling fans supporting the band and being able to listen to them. I personally have never listened to FOZZY until recently.
Yeah, they are fucking rock stars.
Yeah.
Y2J, dude, you kill it on stage, in the ring, it don't matter.
Judas made number 1 that day on Cinco de Mayo. That's when we went to the show. It was on Friday on Cinco de Mayo, and they made number 1 rock song on
iTunes.
On iTunes, man. That was pretty sweet. And Avenged Sevenfold ended up giving them a shout out.
Well deserved.
Yeah, man. For the rest of the concert, it was pretty like a normal concert. Your festival concert. We did try to go meet Chris Jericho. He was having a meet and greet, and I kind of came to my conclusion with what happened. We were standing in line for about, I'd say, a good hour and a half.
Yep, we missed 3 days grace.
Yep. Just to see Jericho, and then right in the middle of it, Jericho leaves. And what I found out, just looking online and stuff, what I think is he had a VIP meet and greet as well. Yeah. So I think it was just kind of first come, first serve.
He's a busy mofo.
Yeah, that man is busy. Doing a podcast right after that, it's just... Well, I think what we screwed up, because we were walking around trying to figure out where the autograph tent was, and we were standing right next to it, and the stupid Verizon Wireless people
sent us the
other way. We go to the opposite side and go to the FM 99 tent, and then they're like, hey, no, it's the blue tent's on the other side. And we're like, okay, so
cool.
We're
thanks, guys.
80 people deep by that time. We would have literally been probably number 1, because as soon as FOZZY was over, we made a beeline to like the autograph section. So, but shout out to FOZZY, all the members in the band. Shout out to Chris Jericho. Dude, that shit was awesome. I I rocked out, man. It was definitely worth all the money.
I haven't stopped listening to Judas like at all since Friday.
Yeah.
Today's Sunday, so okay, maybe a couple of days, but it's been banging.
I was
in
one
my
of the few
headphones,
people
man.
there that actually like almost had the song memorized,
Right.
and it was cool when Chris Jericho saw me with my flip flop in the air and just pointed to me because he saw me moshing out in the crowd.
It's a catchy ass song, man.
Yeah.
And they're hella great just live, man. Those guys, they really put on a hell of a show. Like, I even got in a mosh pit, and I'm not that guy. I don't go
Yeah.
into mosh pits. That
was my doing. I
even
pushed
moshed
you
a
in.
little bit. Yeah, you might have pushed me in. Yeah, but I
was
went.
do-
I fucking went.
Yeah, I went is it mosh pitting? I get mosh pitting. Moshing. There you go.
If you check our
Moshing.
Instagram, there's a video of my man holding the phone in the middle of the mosh.
Yeah, that's right.
There's also
barefoot.
There's also a picture of my hand reaching out to Jericho and his hand. It's both of our arms. It's probably one of the best pictures you'll ever see. It's on our Instagram. Follow it, like it, enjoy it.
Yeah, it's funny how as I said on my last podcast, I have a photography background, so it's kind of funny when I was just telling Stevie G that when I do a wedding or something, I get this magnificent shot, and I'm just so excited to show the client, and then when they see it, they're like, "Oh, that's nice. What about this one?" And I'm like, "What? No.
This one.
This is the one.
Right, like that picture, man. That picture
Drink it in, man." Like,
It didn't get a lot of love on social media, but damn, it's literally my favorite picture ever. It's my background on my phone.
I think it's just because it's your arm reaching out for Jericho.
Maybe, but it's a good picture.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you fucking rock.
I'm sure there's gonna be more to come. I'd like to be able to get some like access to a WWE event or just even like a live show and go start shooting some live shows again, and then maybe get in the back and podcast with some of them. Because
That'd be pretty
my
sick.
dad ended up he's shot for VCW that's been around here, and he's shot pictures of Rowdy Piper before he died.
in
Raven. He shot I think Scott Steiner. And just other just the people that that are like the headliners for that indie card.
Right,
but
yeah.
He shot a bunch of people around here, and it's we actually have hopefully we'll be able to bring them on in a future episode. But one of my dad's friends, Walt, is actually I guess he doesn't do it anymore from what I heard, but he was a indie wrestler, so he's went good guy, bad guy, been on both sides. So hopefully
Right,
be able to get
yeah.
him in here and see what it's like to actually.
And
perform.
my cousin moved back. He's not in Florida anymore, so he's
Oh,
here,
nice.
and he's currently on the indie scene. Maybe we can get him in here for an
Yeah,
episode.
for sure.
He'll definitely tell us some ins and outs. I saw him do a show with Tony Atlas and Brutus Beefcake.
Yeah.
So old legends still do
Nice, yeah.
stuff around here and there. One quick thing though about Jericho, I really wish we would have met him because Jay came up with this great idea, and it's for him to sign my arm. I'm a mark. I got Kevin Owens tattoo on the back. I got Dolph Ziggler on the chest. And if I got Jericho to sign my arm, we were going to go get a tattoo of that signature that night. We were going to leave the concert and just go get that tatted.
So if you're hearing this, Chris Jericho, if we ever meet you, just be prepared to see your autograph tattooed on my man over here.
It's coming, dude. It's coming.
Hopefully, my goal was to get him to do a little shout out for the podcast, But you know what? Like I always say, man, it's time and place, man. Everything has a time and place. So one thing led to another, and it isn't meant to be right now. So
It's coming, though.
It's
We
coming.
will find you, Jericho.
Jeez, don't sound so stalkerish, man. God.
I really he's talking about, we botched last episode. We didn't really talk about who some of our favorite episodes are. And we're talking about Jericho
Episodes,
now.
you mean favorite superstars?
Favorite superstars. Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Don't want to have to redo this episode, too.
Oh, my God.
We literally had the whole entire intro down, and I botched it. And one day we're going to show you guys some blooper reels, so you can definitely hear some of the 100 takes that it took for us to do it. But
Laugh your ass off.
as you
God,
were
it's
saying, my
funny.
man, I didn't mean to cut you off. Favorite superstars?
Yeah,
Let's give them 3 apiece, and let's give them somebody we don't like. Not necessarily like that we hate or whatever, but let's give them somebody that we don't like, just so we can see where we stand. Let the fans know what our taste is like.
Okay, all right, I get that.
You go one, I go one, you go one, I go one. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to lead it off with Jericho.
Okay.
And I wouldn't maybe
I'll give
say,
you that one.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's like my absolute favorite, but he's really, I can't say he's even grown on me because I've always liked and loved Jericho. But this last run that he has had in the WWE, in my opinion, is his best run. The work he did with AJ Styles, the work he did with, Kevin Owens, it's awesome. You talk about building a story. The story him and Kevin Owens built together was just it was good. It was a good story. It kept
I have to disagree with you. You want to know why? Because he was in that. Kevin Owens was in that same story with Sami Zayn. Not even 6 months prior to that story. We will get into that.
Oh, but no, that was a different.
It was still his best friend. And
yeah,
then
but
Sami
Zayn and Kevin Owens are really best friends.
Okay,
like, there's history there.
So they reused the same story because this idiot does not know how to do anything else.
If Chris Jericho's working with you, then I mean, you're not an idiot. Chris Jericho wouldn't work with an idiot.
They said this idiot can't get over. So we need somebody to get this stupid idiot over. And they were like, Chris Jericho, you're the man.
This idiot.
Work with this idiot.
Kevin Owens was NXT champion within a couple of months of being
NXT was like not even great.
Finn Balor. He won it from Finn Balor.
Well, whatever.
Oh, my God.
See, get out of here.
Yeah, and Finn Balor, the first ever Universal
Finn Balor, the guy that can't even stay in more than one match without getting hurt.
Hey, he's not going on my list.
I can't get on his bandwagon, man.
He's not on my list, but I'm just saying Finn Balor is the first ever Universal champion, and we can't take that away from him. But Kevin Owens beat him for the NXT championship. And Kevin Owens was the second Universal champion ever.
Woo! Only because the man got hurt.
But you have a locker room full of talent that you can give this Universal title to, and you put it on Kevin Owens because the man is amazing. And that's definitely one of my favorites, but I'm going to pass it on to you now.
Next.
Give us one of your
give
favorites.
us two. So you're going to go with Jericho and Kevin Owens as 1 and 2?
Well, I'm not going to explain.
In no order, but 1 and 2.
Do you want me to go number 3?
Give us number 3 if you just I'll go out.
Shinsuke fucking Nakamura.
All right, well, I can give you that one then.
Yeah, Shinsuke is fantastic.
Yeah.
And one I dislike, who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite?
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt.
I dislike Bray Wyatt.
Why? Because
he's your favorite. Jesus. So fuck you, dude.
All right. Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman. Those are my top 2 right now in the current. If I have to give you number 3, Charlotte. Fantastic in the ring.
Okay.
I'm going to give the love to the ladies. You obviously are sexist. So all of our female listeners out there, we have one sexist co-host and one non-sexist co-host. So I would have to give it to Bray Wyatt, character, all-around character. He has the absolute best. He talks the best on the mic. He has a cool story, Braun Strowman, I'm glad they branched him off.
Yeah,
I think that's probably one of their best moves. I personally think the man needs to be the champion. I would like to see Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman eventually down the road for the championship.
They're on the same show now.
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
I just thought about that, too, like just recently. That's why I'm bringing it up.
That'd be sick.
They can set that up. They could set up just recently since they did the Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt. Man, that's a triple threat match I'm all right with seeing. And then just him. I think he would have done a better job than Randy Orton did with the whole joining the Bray Wyatt family. And I kind of saw it coming as soon as he, that storyline last year.
Right, yeah.
It seemed like, oh, okay, you're joining. There has to be that turn eventually. There's no reason for you to not turn.
Yeah, you're not going to be there forever.
Being Luke Harper or, Braun Strowman, they have a reason to stay and then keep that faction going as the champions, and then somebody else win the tag team champions, and then Wyatt family just be on top. Performance-wise, I think Charlotte's probably one of the best superstars in the ring, hands down. I think she outdoes a lot of the guys. I think her spots take a little too long to get where she needs to be, but that's a safety precaution.
Moonsault off the top rope.
Yeah, but
badass move.
I think that she's probably got all the women beat performance-wise. Alexa Bliss has everybody beat on the mic. Who do you think's performance-wise?
The best woman performer right now, Sasha Banks.
Oh, Christ.
What do you mean? Dude,
oh, God.
She is amazing. The only thing
she hasn't done anything in the last, month and a half, 2 months.
Because she had her little thing, and they're trying to build... She's not trash.
She's had multiple opportunities to turn heel and never went heel. As soon as she goes heel, I'm jumping on the bandwagon for her. But until then...
But why can't you just like her for what she is? She's
a lackluster
lackluster my ball sack, dude. This chick goes ham in the ring. Okay, I'll give it to you. Charlotte's good, and I didn't say she's not good, but Sasha Banks is better.
And
she's Snoop Dogg's cousin, so she probably, you know what I'm saying?
She's
now smoking a little bit,
Now she got that street cred, huh?
No, it's not even street cred. It's just I really like her. I think she's freaking hot. Alexa's probably maybe just a tinky-winky hotter. But still, like, we're talking about performers, and I'd put...
You think she outdoes Charlotte,
Yep.
though? Wow, no, I don't think so. I think their matches together were phenomenal, but I just think that performance-wise, man, I mean, in-ring, actual athletic performance, Charlotte's got her beat, dude. Hands down.
By a lot or by a little?
I mean, a win is a win, right?
All right, okay, yeah, all right. Hey, fair enough.
End of discussion.
Motherfucker. All right, so name one of your least favorites. I don't think I named one of my
No,
least.
you didn't.
No, I did. I said Bray Wyatt because that's one of your favorites. But I do like Bray. That was just me being a smartass.
Okay, to be honest, I mean, I'd have to think about that for a half second here. I think there's a bunch of underutilized characters, so
Yes,
I can't
God,
really,
yes.
I can't really say that I don't necessarily like somebody. No, yes, I can.
Don't say that one. We'll save that one for another day. I know exactly where you're about to go. We can save that man for the new face of America. Yeah, we can save that for another day.
You want to know why? And I want to let the listeners know why. It's not because he's a fat slob. It's because today is Kevin Owens' birthday.
Happy birthday, baby.
No, not happy birthday anymore. Because I went to go tweet this guy. Today is the 7th of May. And I went to go tweet this man. And I found out. I was like, wait a minute. I thought his Twitter handle was Fight Owens Fight. You know? That seems like it would have been. So I Google it. And sure enough, I am blocked. And you want to know why I'm blocked?
We are, not I. We, like us
we
together.
Our
And that
TOW
pisses me off.
podcast Twitter handle is blocked. I've confirmed it with my personal account. But the guy doesn't have the stones for me to tweet him at the fucking House of Horrors match and say that I agree that he's a muttonhead. And the guy is a muttonhead. Now he's you know what? He's a muffin top. That's what he is. He's a muffin top, mutton-headed, cotton-headed Ninny Muggins.
I knew you were going there. Kevin Owens is the best in the world at what he does.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Jesus.
end of
The
story.
guy looks like the average fan. He wrestles like my dad would wrestle.
No, bullshit.
He actually has
his wrestling ability is fucking amazing.
What, because he can roll on top of somebody?
Dude, we talk about movesets all the time. We talk about the problem with the moveset all the time. This dude is always bringing new shit, innovative
He doesn't bring
shit.
anything. It's so...
But you watch his match. Just watch his matches.
Yeah, exactly. Watch him and Sami Zayn together, and it's like I mean, you want
It's
to talk about
fucking
scripted?
good.
No, you want to talk about scripted? That is scripted. As soon as he falls out of the ring, Sami Zayn comes... I hate Sami Zayn, too, with his
What?
stupid taxi cab fucking...
I hate that. You
taxi
piss me
cab
off.
confession
You piss
fucking
me
looking
off.
outfit. As soon as he goes,
kidding
as soon as
me?
he throws him to the outside of the ring, Kevin Owens is on one side, Sami Zayn is on the other, and then sure enough, Sami Zayn's going to jump through the middle rope, and then Kevin Owens is going to grab him with a DDT and hit him with a DDT. It happened like 9, 10, 11, however many times he bored the hell out of me last year with those stupid matches. And then they tried to play that same storyline with the great one, Chris Jericho. Man, I was listening to Chris Jericho's introduction when he came out. And The Rock standing in the ring, and this man interrupts him. That's 9 minutes of gold. That's something that Kevin Owens couldn't do on his best day. Give me 3 minutes of gold.
He's given the WWE universe gold every time you see his face, every time you see him, hear him talk, every time you see him wrestle. It's gold. All of it, 5-star. Every single thing. All of it.
I don't know what it is about your face, but it makes me want to punch a hole through it.
Oh my God, no, Kevin Owens. Don't listen to Jay Hughes. Unblock us on Twitter. Hang out with me. I got your tattoo on my freaking back.
He doesn't
bro.
want to because he's a pussy.
He's not a pussy.
Can't handle.
He's busy.
He's busy. He's on Twitter. Obviously, have enough time to block people.
Yeah, because you called him a muttonhead. I'd block you too.
I didn't.
A fucking muttonhead.
Chris Jericho called him a muttonhead. So when we meet Chris Jericho, then you can tell him to tell your boy KO to unblock us, and that you don't think he's a muttonhead, and I think he's a muttonhead.
He's not a muttonhead. He's a fantastic superstar. He is the epitome of what a WWE superstar should be. Not The Miz, not John Cena,
Are you
not
kidding
Dave
me?
Batista. No, dude, are you kidding?
He looks like
me?
somebody that I would hire to fix the shit stains that are building up in my toilet over here.
And he would do it A+ job. He'd do it fucking awesome, and he'd make you laugh while he did it.
He wouldn't make me laugh
Yes,
because
he
I think
would.
he's a
He's
stupid
hilarious.
idiot.
He's fucking great, dude.
I could go on for days
forever
about how I hate this guy. So
About
I'm
how
going
I
to
love
give you guys
this guy.
somebody who I think's story or who's very underutilized.
Dolph Ziggler.
I could say that. Yeah, I think he's underutilized.
All right, we can agree on that.
I think that, let's see, who's...
I'll go with Apollo Crews. I'll just go ahead and jump in there real quick.
Apollo Crews is
yes.
good.
Yeah, he's been having, a couple of little things here and there with this whole Titus brand thing. But I really dislike how the WWE puts, I hate to say it, but whatever, puts black guys together. And, I don't, the New Day is 3 black dudes, Titus and Apollo, 2 black guys. Break it up. I don't, why have,
You want
why
some
not
yin
have,
and some yang?
yeah, why not have 2 black guys and
salt
1
and
white
some
guy?
pepper?
Why not have Apollo Crews do something with Sin Cara or something I don't know, just something different.
Well, it's because I would think probably because it took so long for Cesaro and Sheamus to get over. That's a weird tag team, and I'm just now getting on board with it. But it's taken forever for us to even for everybody to jump on board.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I totally agree, but this whole heel turn they're doing, Cesaro's always been one of my favorites as far as in-ring ability. He is a machine. How fast he goes, the pace he keeps, how hard he hits, how legit he's a legitimate superstar. Talking about Cesaro, he's one of my faves too.
I mean, I think that is he over 205?
Yeah.
Weight-wise? Yeah.
Cesaro?
Yeah. I mean, not Cesaro. I was thinking Sin Cara. But
oh, Sin Cara. Sin Cara's he's got some muscle on him too. He's about 230, 240.
I'm surprised that he's not more prevalent in the cruiserweight.
Kalisto,
well, both of them. I mean, I don't know how heavy
Sin Cara
is. He looked huge in his last match.
He's a muscular dude.
At least Kalisto's. I know Kalisto's a lot smaller.
Yeah, and maybe I think they might be saving that.
And you know what? That's exactly where I'm going to go with it. That's what I'm going to say is underutilized. I think that the cruiserweights are underutilized. They're taking them, like I said in the last episode, I'm pretty sure we went over it, with the way when you switch the ring out and you're bringing a whole nother division in, I think you're segregating them. And, it's leaving only the ability to beat these 6 to 10 people that are in this division.
Small division.
Very small division. No pun intended, but very small division.
Nice. I see what you did there.
But, I mean, it's just, one of my favorite moments was watching Shawn Michaels versus Psycho Sid when I was younger.
Okay.
Because I always was like, man, I want to be 6 foot tall because Shawn Michaels he was the smallest wrestler at the time.
Yep.
And looking at him in that Survivor Series, white, I still remember it to this day, that white VHS, and it's, Psycho Sid on the left and Shawn Michaels on the right. And I mean, there's a head difference of these people, and it just always put that perspective in my mind that it doesn't matter how small you are, you can overcome. Anything. And I'd like to see, I think that the dumpster match was, it didn't perform for me the way I wanted it to, but I like when the little guy beats the big guy.
But we haven't even seen Kalisto since. And that's what pisses, that's weird too. It's he just beat Braun Strowman, who just beat Roman Reigns, who just beat Undertaker. And then we don't see Kalisto. I don't know. It's just weird how they kind of.
Well, you've mentioned it before. You think there's too many superstars.
I really do. I think there's too much. There's too many people trying to get to the top, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it turns into a bad thing because what we're seeing on the current product now is who's at the top right now. Brock Lesnar, somebody who does not try to be at the top. Right. In my opinion, maybe he tries a little bit, but he's not trying as hard as Ziggler. He's not trying as hard as Rollins. He's not trying as hard as Reigns.
Well, what do you think about bringing back more belts?
That would be awesome, and that would make things more meaningful. But then, as far as what belts do you bring back? A hardcore championship would be awesome, but they're really trying to do this whole PG thing.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, you could bring back the European title to have the
and
European
and
the US
UK title.
Or the TV title, man. I mean, you're in a TV era.
Yeah, that was
I mean, I
badass.
heard it recently on a podcast. It was, how House of Horrors should have been a match on live TV.
Fuck you, P.S. Hayes.
Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah.
That's 20 years in the making, and that's what you give us?
Fucking idiot. Okay, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But that's just, you look at it, and House of Horrors would have been, and I can totally, I think that would have been great to be on TV. You would have been on right in the opening segment, right into, in the commercial break, you might have seen a little bit more, something out in the yard. And then the final segment of Raw would have been them coming in to, the final stretch, and it ends in the ring. I think that would have been way more better than how they had it set up it was too much for a pay-per-view.
It was piss poor.
It
was piss poor. It was probably the worst. I don't even want to say the worst thing, but it was probably one of the worst things I've ever seen.
It was the worst match I've seen all year.
Like they put a fridge on top of him, and they acted like this fridge was the biggest fucking fridge ever.
But he apparently had a razor in there because his 5 o'clock shadow went away. That's what
right.
The
and it was pitch black at 7:30. Like, I think I've already said that once, but it's just
botched it.
Like, come on, like who doesn't think about that? Like, you got all these people, like who totally neglects the fact that okay, we're airing this match at 9:30 or.
Well, that's probably what they wanted you to think was, oh, you're watching it on the East Coast and it's 9 o'clock over there. It's dark, and then. Well, what about the people that are here in California?
Right, exactly. Like, I mean, your smart wrestling fans are gonna get that, and they're just.
I think that's the biggest
they booed
problem.
Them.
I think that's the biggest problem nowadays is there's too many people out there being too critical of the product that can see everything, and they're gonna pick it apart. Like so you need. Those writers that are aware of it, those directors of photography, directors of the program, producers. Attention to detail. I learned that in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, I mean,
it's 100%. I always pick it out. And I know it can't, when you watch a movie, it can't always be perfect. But, I mean, there's certain scenes where I'm like, man, like nobody saw that the hand soap is on the right-hand side of the sink. And then now it's on the left-hand side of the sink.
It's the little stuff.
It's just like, wow, like that wasn't, nobody puts that in perspective. But
when you think about that House of Horrors match, I'm sorry we keep going back to it, but like I'm sure there were people there that paid more than $500 to sit wherever they sat. Like I'm sure front row was, you couldn't get a front row ticket for about $500.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but
that's the average.
And these people had to pay $500 and watch a 30-minute match of two superstars who are big money makers, who are two of the best in the world at what they do, and they had to watch them on a screen in a very piss poor performance.
Yeah.
And whoever.
I think that at least from a photographer's perspective, it was shot cool. Being in the house, but
and that's it.
That's it.
You would have got some good pictures.
Yeah, I saw the house for sale on.
Like immediately.
Did you see it on?
Like immediately.
Did you see it online?
I didn't, but I saw.
You can buy it for $36,000.
How many?
36,000.
I bet. I hope if they would have kept it that way, that would have been pretty badass. I would have been okay with that. But still, I mean, it was pretty piss poor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean.
House of Horrors match. That's something we're going to talk about for years and years and years.
I think that's where they.
God.
I mean, well, while we're on the topic, I mean, we might as well go into it. What'd you think about everything else about it then?
About Payback?
Payback itself, yeah.
Payback. The build to Payback, the matches.
The match card was great.
The match card was great. The build up to Payback was decent. I really, 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 really enjoyed the Hardy Boys and Sheamus and Cesaro. That match was just phenomenal. AJ and Austin Aries had us at the edge of our seats the whole time. That was fun.
AJ?
Did I say AJ?
Yeah, you said AJ.
Austin Aries and
Neville. Jesus.
I botched.
He botched.
Hey, man, we botched. It's live. We're
That's
rolling,
what we
baby.
should just call this, is the botched podcast. That's just,
hey, we're going to get better. This is episode 2.
These are two introverts here trying to talk on a microphone.
Right, like, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that was probably one of my favorite matches just because of the ending. A lot of people hated that ending, but I thought it was cool just because it was something fresh. It was different.
I've never seen.
I'm ready to see that match again. Like that makes me want to see that match. Yep. Then you go immediately into Raw with how they split up everybody into their new rivalries, and then it's back to Dean Ambrose Miz again. I don't want to see that because that never ended like Neville and Austin Aries. There was no excitement to it.
Right.
Like, what? No, wait, hold on a minute.
That was cool.
Right.
I
I would say, other than the House of Horrors match, I can't give any judgment on the Samoa Joe Seth Rollins match because I
snoozing.
literally fell asleep. I couldn't stay awake because the House of Horrors bored me so much. But I was very, very impressed with Braun Strowman and the Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I liked the match. I hated the little botch at the end with the blood capsules and stuff like that. Certain stuff like that bugs me. You know, you have an ample opportunity to get that right. But I thought that match was awesome. I'm ready to see that match again too, as well.
Aside from that Twitter GIF that you showed me, where you see the referee kind of handing something to Roman and Roman throwing something in his mouth, I haven't heard anything at all about Roman Reigns.
You're reading the wrong sources, brother.
Well, maybe.
That was blatant. Like when I initially saw it, when he gets hit with the steel steps,
but that's
you
all
see
assumption.
him chewing. You see him chewing though. I mean, that right there, I was like, no, and I was like, it's blood capsule, and then I just think it was bad, timing on hitting the record button again. But
I honestly think he was really spitting up blood.
That's why you're an idiot.
Yeah, well, I truthfully, I don't think that the dude gave him blood capsules for him to spit up blood.
You sound like somebody that we work with that believes it like it's...
No. Like, I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying as far as, like... Because it looks suspicious. It looks fishy. But in my heart, I don't want to fucking believe it at all. Like, I want to believe that Strowman really fucked this dude up. And granted, they were in Rome Coliseum. Thanks for showing us that one, Titus O'Neil.
Yeah.
Fucking the next day. Like... which really is taking it away from me. Like on Instagram, there was a video the other day of Titus dancing with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax and Miz and Maurice, and they're just dancing.
Well, that's no, we can agree, but that's something we can definitely agree on.
Seriously, all the time. It's weird. It's not like it used to be.
Well, that's the one thing I do have to say. I was talking with my girlfriend today about Kevin Owens blocking us on Twitter and how I was stoked about it, and we both agreed that that's 100% a heel move right there, and I love it.
Yes.
Like, so there's two things that I can say that I do like about Kevin Owens. The WrestleMania moment with the one finger, I think it was overplayed during Payback,
yeah.
But I like that Chris Jericho immediately went to stomping on his hand and just being like, no.
They used it again.
They used it again. I think they used it correctly. But and the other thing, I just think, I personally would talk shit, but when I was talking with my girlfriend, I think that it's a liability aspect is why he can't do that. As a heel, I personally would be like, oh, I'm just going to talk shit to fans. If some kid gets his butt hurt and starts cutting himself or kills himself, God forbid, that's a lawsuit on your hands, all because Kevin Owens says something mean to you.
Exactly.
And you're the one that said something mean to him first.
Yep.
And you can't deal with what you're dishing out. And that right there is the only reason I think he's smart for blocking people, is just because I think he probably personally has, that small, oh, I'll snap.
Yeah,
because that's how I am. I'm like, I can only take but so much. If it's the same dude pestering me, I'm going to be like, look, man, I'm going to have to fuck you up, dude.
This isn't good, brother. Yeah, you got to stop.
So I do appreciate, the fact that he did block us, but it does suck for me personally, because I was just telling her, is like, well, what if I become a Kevin Owens fan? And then I can never tweet him,
ever again, because he ain't gonna go back and start unblocking people. Once you block, you done.
I want to see his block list though.
Speaking of block list, one of the guys we met at Lunatic Luau, he got blocked by JBL. He said he was talking shit to JBL, and
see,
JBL
we have to
blocked
check
him.
that and see. When I went back on Twitter, that was the only thing I could see was me retweeting what Jericho had said. So I've never said anything about JBL, but it would be funny just to see who we have
Talk shit
blocked.
to him one good time. Even though I love JBL,
I dig it, man. I like that because I'm a heel guy. I like that he always goes for the heels. I like Corey Graves because he goes for the heels.
Corey Graves, dude,
shout out to Corey Graves, man.
Awesome, dude.
That's the new JR.
He really that dude. He found his role.
Yeah,
he's money.
Blessing in disguise that he got hurt.
Really,
I have never
expected that shit.
I've never seen any of his matches, but I asked Stevie G here, just a little back history on certain wrestlers, because I got out of the product myself for about 10 to 15 years. I didn't say that in our introduction podcast, but you'll soon to find that out. I don't know the hype about the Shield. I don't know, the hype about Kevin Owens in Ring of Honor, like where
Kevin Steen,
where everybody talks about him, and it's like, I didn't see that stuff, so I'm coming in as a fresh perspective within the last year and a half, and that's why I say certain wrestlers don't impress me. Is because what you're doing now, it may be the big bosses, doing, but you have the ability to perform in the ring on those nights, and you're not
in live TV,
and you're not doing it for me. There's something about it. I go back to that Sami Zayn. I'm just gonna use it as examples. You go back to that Sami Zayn. I saw it the first time. Oh man, that was an awesome match. Oh, he DDT'd him right when he came to the ropes. But then you see that same match 4, 5, 6 times, and it's almost play by play. Sami Zayn's coming out through the middle ropes, out to dive on the outside. Boom, there's a little tussle. He throws him over to the other side of the turnbuckle. Then he's diving through the DDT. I mean, it's like, then the power bomb on the side. Oh, like.
Do you know?
Very Spottish.
Do you know why it's Kevin Owens and not Kevin Steen?
I don't know, no.
Nice. I don't think I've ever told you this. Well, the reason it's Kevin Owens and not Kevin Steen is because, A, he wanted to change his name coming over to WWE because he wanted a fresh start. But Owen Hart was his favorite wrestler. Owen Hart was his legitimate favorite.
And I bet you that's because it's Owen Hart's birthday today as well. So that could be why.
Yeah, and literally, my cousin, the wrestler, he's the one that told me that on one of our little road trips.
Yeah.
Because I've gone with him to Elizabeth City and seen some of his shows. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I just wanted to throw that in there real quick about Kevin Owens. It's pretty badass. Happy birthday.
Yep, happy birthday, Kevin Owens. Rest in peace, Owen Hart.
Yes,
happy birthday
God,
to you.
yes. That's one of the reasons. I never really caught on to it till about a month ago when I was reading something on the internet. He died at an In Your House pay-per-view.
Yep. And
that's the reason we're never, ever going to get another In Your House pay-per-view. And one of the reasons we're never going to get another Bad Blood pay-per-view is because Brian Pillman. Yeah, he died.
Dude, I remember where I was living in Tallahassee when Owen Hart died, and that was one of the pay-per-views I didn't watch, but my buddy, he had it and got on the school bus, and I was like, what happened last night? And he's like, you didn't hear? And I was like, no. And he was like, Owen Hart died. And I was like, what? And I mean, I remember the whole day just like ready to go get off of school so I could watch Raw and find out what happened the night before. And it's just, and it's crazy. I'm glad though that, with nowadays with so many phones and stuff like that, like, I'm glad that the Hart family doesn't have to see that over and over. If that was to ever happen nowadays, you've got 15,000 people that have a phone up at one time,
and it's going all over the place.
Yeah, because there's no footage you can ever see. I think there's one picture you see of the Blue Blazer falling, and I think that's it. But there was no.
I've never seen it.
There's no video footage. The cameraman did the right thing and moved the camera away. He knew something was wrong as it was happening, and then immediately JR takes over and is like,
that sucks, dude. God, Jesus, man. I mean, I couldn't even imagine. You're just trying to do something for your fans, and you end up dead.
And that was the same people that hooked up Sting, that they were the ones doing that. And then I heard on Bischoff's podcast, that they asked Sting if he wanted to keep going with it, and he was just like, yeah, that's what my character has to do. And like a champ, he did it. It's the same people that were rigging him up.
Man.
Yeah,
Sting is the fucking man.
I wish I would have been able to see Sting live.
Good God.
Yeah. I had to go awesome. Sting, Hogan, and Shawn Michaels. I've never seen any of them.
I would have wanted to see Kane at the very beginning, like when Kane was like the red demonic monster, because I didn't see that Kane.
See, I saw them when DX invaded the scope. It was after the Inferno match, so I saw Kane. That was in '98, so it was only a year after he was there. Less than a year, because he shows up in around October-ish in the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, the Hell in a Cell, which was fucking awesome.
April was that invasion angle.
That was awesome. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see Kurt Angle. And I'd like to see Bobby Lashley. As weird as that sounds, I've seen.
Are you talking about in-ring performance? Because you did get to see Angle at Mania. at least get to
I
see
didn't
him.
get to
You never
see
see him in the
you know
ring.
what I
You never
mean?
see him in the ring.
I didn't get to see Angle at his prime.
Right.
Like
yeah.
when Angle was still in the show. And
I still
as
think
far
he's
as
got-
Angle goes, when I was listening to his podcast, Jericho's podcast, where Angle was a guest, he's told Jericho that before that Mania match he had with Shawn Michaels, he never ever even got in the ring or practiced or anything with Michaels. They just had their match at Mania. They talked about it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that's just amazing that two guys can go out there, steal the show, because I remember that match. It was great. And, never even done the match before. Like, that's when you catch lightning in a bottle, because you never practiced it, but you're two guys that know your job and know what to do, and you go out there and you just kill it.
Yep. I mean, is that one of your all-time favorite matches?
No. It's a good match, great match, but if I could give you a top 3 list today, right now, and maybe because I'm really into the product like now harder than I've ever been, but Shinsuke, Sami Zayn, that very first match they had to take over, number 1. HBK HBK and Undertaker, WrestleMania 25, number 2. And then it's a toss-up between Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, or DIY versus the Revival.
I was going to say that was a great one. If I had to pick something, in our most recent, that's probably one of my favorite, that tag team match at TakeOver.
DIY Revival, but I'm not talking about the one you went to.
No, the one prior to that one.
Yeah, where it was a 2 out of 3 falls match.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like
Holy
NXT's
shit.
kind of fallen off ever since Sasha Banks. I liked Sasha Banks when she was in NXT, but as soon as she went to the main roster, she fell
they
off.
all went, though. All 4 of them. The 4 horsemen.
Yeah, but I just
except
feel
Bayley.
like-
Bayley held back a little bit longer,
Yeah.
but pretty much they all shot up quick.
That's the one thing I think they're pushing them too much to the top, and then as soon as they get to the top, then they're losing all that steam. And I feel like
nobody else.
NXT is gone. There's nobody left
Just
in NXT.
Asuka.
Yeah, and Bobby Roode. And I think he's coming up soon too, man. I think he's going to be at SummerSlam. I see him coming up.
I don't think they have room to take him
No,
away, dude.
What's his nuts is
Hideo Itami.
yeah.
Is it NXT tonight? Because
No,
is it next
Oh.
Saturday?
I have no idea.
I think it's
No,
next
sorry.
Saturday because maybe not Paul, the UK Championship, the Tyler Bate, he's going up against Paul Dunn or something like that in the NXT Takeover, and that's the match I'm looking forward to the most. It's because Tyler Bate is he's like 20, and he performs like he's been in the ring for 20 years. Like, the dude's amazing.
Well, that's
If you've
what we
never
should
watched
do
Tyler Bate,
we should do a review for that one. Actually watch it because I need to start getting back into the product. I
NXT,
watched
yeah.
NXT last week and this past Wednesday, and it was all right, but it was the first 2 or 3 matches were just basically squash matches and
they're trying to rebuild
the
everybody back
characters
up.
and
Yeah.
stuff. But it's just I feel like they emptied their roster. So yeah, we're on 42 minutes.
I was just looking.
I wanted to look 43 minutes
43
exactly.
minutes. Very nice.
What do you want to wrap things up?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was curious to see where we were at because I've been sitting here. We've been talking about wrestlers. I know we were downstairs talking earlier. We were like, all right, we'll bang out about like a 30-minute episode about wrestlers.
We got our 30 minutes. So
I'm not mad at all. I love it.
It's perfect. I mean, we did talk about what we needed to talk about.
Yeah.
Anything else? I mean,
Anything else? I fucking love Dolph Ziggler. I wish his promos kind of suck lately. I don't really know what he needs to do to revive that character, but I will
change it because he's copying HBK too much.
I think his in-ring ability is phenomenal. Yes, he over-exaggerates as far as the selling, but so did Shawn Michaels. Maybe Shawn Michaels did it the best, but that's just the best in the world, period, hands down in the story. You ain't never going to get anybody as good as Shawn Michaels as far as in-ring ability, in my opinion, But I love Dolph Ziggler. I haven't given him any love, but he has always been one of my favorites. He always will be one of my favorites. I just wish they booked him better. Lack of booking has really messed his career up because he's a great talent. He knows how to work.
Nice. All right, so what we got on the books for you guys coming up, we will do the NXT review, and we will do Backlash review coming up soon. Raw and SmackDown reviews are coming out next week. We will be recording a couple days later, like we told you on the last podcast episode. We watched the product a little bit late because we are up at 6 o'clock in the morning and do not have the energy to stay up and watch the full product. I did sign up for Sling, so I've got 2 more weeks on that. Hopefully I can stay up till 11 and actually do an in-depth review for the guys.
And I got Contour, so I do record it, and I always have it on the box. Got to. But that's one of the problems is fast forwarding, so I miss some stuff.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can give you guys a couple of reviews coming up next week, see where we see the stories going like that. Anything else, Bubba?
Really looking forward to Shinsuke and Ziggler at Backlash.
Man. That's going to be that's when we're going to do our first pay-per-view party, so hopefully we can get everybody hyped up. I'm ready for that one. So, all right, guys, appreciate you guys listening to episode 2. I am Jay Hughes.
I am Stevie G.
We will listen or not listen. We will talk to you guys next time. Peace.
Later.